Welcome to Women of a Certain Stage, the podcast redefining how we think about menopause. I'm your host, Lauren Turin, a passionate advocate for breaking the stigma and empowering individuals to navigate this transformational stage of life with confidence and clarity. Here, we're diving into a new era of menopause support, featuring expert advice, real-life stories, and actionable insights. Whether you're curious about building your personal menopause plan or you're looking to make an impact, you're in the right place. Let's embrace the change together.
I came off the course, I literally wanted to do everything.
What do you mean by that?
I kind of wanted to sort of change the world and help every menopausal woman and just reach everybody. And because I was trying to pull myself in lots of different directions, because I knew I wanted to help people one-to-one, I wanted to help people in work, I wanted to look at the health and fitness aspect of things. And it's a lot of directions I pulled myself in. I was still trying to work full-time at the same time. And I put myself into a complete state of overwhelm, possibly made myself quite ill through it, to be fair. Because you don't realise that you're still dealing with the symptoms of menopause yourself while you're trying to do this. So it took me a while to sort of get some focus. And it's funny because what gave me focus was, I've done journaling for a while, but again, I lost it. And then having done your course, I started journaling again. And I bought a new journal, and then I saw one that had prompts in, which I've not really used. I thought, I want to get that one just because it looked really pretty. And I got it, and I sat down in December, and one of the prompts was something like, what are you passionate about? And I'd made sure when I sat down, I cleared my head. And I wrote that I was passionate about helping women stay in their jobs. And then I realised that actually the corporate side of it is the thing I'm most passionate about. And I didn't even realise that. Maybe because I felt forced to leave a job that I absolutely loved. And you kind of lose a little bit of your identity. And you're already losing enough, aren't you? You know, you're going through menopause, you're already losing enough. I know not every woman the same. That's really
but that's how you felt, and that's but, I felt the same. So
yeah. And I just thought, this is just not. It's not on, and I need to start it. So when I wrote this down, I thought, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've kind of got now two sort of focuses, but one is definitely the workplace side of things. So delivering workshops, helping managers have teaching them how to have the conversations with their employees, and bringing awareness to workplaces, making people realise that it's really small little changes that make a massive difference to women at work, even such as everybody thinks of hot flashes and people need a fan or to be by a window. My experience is the opposite. I struggle regulating my body temperature, but I'm always freezing cold.
Yeah.
So for me, I really wanted a heater, and I wasn't allowed one.
I was the same, exactly the same.
Freezing. So just these tiny little things can make a massive difference to women, and I just think it's just so simple. Why have we got to this stage where we're not doing anything? So I think it's really ignited a passion in me, and it's kind of my massive focus now is really helping companies to help women stay in work.
Yeah. Let's take you back to what you did way back. Like we were having a chat just before we hit record, and you were telling me about the fact that you worked in very male-dominated industries like financial services and insurance. But what type of job were you doing in those industries at the time?
So sales managing, really. I used to do a sort of B2C sales. I've done some B2B sales, but a lot of B2C sales. But quite early on, I was quite a very good salesperson, and I ended up becoming a manager and a sales trainer. But I could have I remember having a team of 30 men working under me when I was in my mid-20s. But I felt so able to cope with that. I had no issues. I knew what I was talking about, so I was really confident in myself. And sales training, developing, delivering sales sessions. Even then, when you go to business, I held rooms with boards of directors, selling products and things to them, doing presentations. When I look back now, I think, oh my gosh, how did I even do that now? Because you lose a little bit of your confidence, don't you?
Where do you think your confidence is at right now, at the point of us recording this?
Right now, I'm shooting back up.
Yes.
I feel fantastic at the moment. I think that's just because I found my focus again.
Yeah.
And I've used all the techniques that you've taught us, but also I'm a massive believer in self-help. I read a lot of self-help books, listen to podcasts, so interested in longevity, health and fitness, everything like that. So I'm always working on myself. I'm always trying to be a better version of myself. And I just think a combination, I've just hit a sweet spot. I don't know where it's come from. I know that I've given myself a big talking to because I know that I've suffered with imposter syndrome since qualifying. Everybody I speak to when it's not in a work capacity say, you are so passionate about this. You know what you're talking about. You know, we're engaged. We're so focused on what you're saying. Why are you not out there doing it? And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And just huge imposter syndrome. But that's gone. I know that I'm good enough. I know that I can do it. I know that I've got the ability to help people. And the longer that I hold myself back, the less people I'm going to help. So it's that really that's, kind of made got my confidence back. Just knowing that, don't be scared because I'm not helping anybody while I'm being scared. Does that make sense? It's the thing about being a woman in it, trying to do everything all at once and thinking about everybody and look after ourselves. And just now I do focus on my self-care and thinking about myself a little bit more. So I think that's helped a lot with the imposter syndrome as well. Just even things such as breathing techniques, meditation, I find absolutely amazing for things like that. Positive affirmations, listening to things like that.
It's maybe different things work for different people, right? It's so important to recognize that. So when we first met, you were managing a gym,
yes,
and doing PT,
yes.
Yep. And at that point, what was it that made you reach out to connect, to have a conversation?
I would say, about 7 years of battling with doctors to try and get help.
Wow.
Because I knew at 39 I was going through, I thought, perimenopause. But everybody just kept saying, you're too young. I even changed doctors 3 times. You're too young. You're too young. And then I got to the stage where I thought, just forget going. And then I think I was about 46, but about 3 to 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I hit rock bottom. Rock bottom, and I didn't know what was wrong. And then it just twigged out, maybe it's this, rearing its ugly head again.
Yeah.
So I did go to the doctors and I finally did get some help. But it wasn't, I don't know whether I'd gone too far downhill, that it just wasn't giving me some HRT. Yes, although, and I know all women can't take it, so another reason why your course is fantastic, but it did give me some help, but it wasn't enough. So I started looking for extra help, how I can help myself, who's out there that can help me. I'd never even heard of a menopause coach before, and you kept coming up. And so I looked on your website and you had a course coming up, the 3-day course.
The free course.
So I signed up to that and I did that, and I just thought, this is for me. I need to connect with this woman more and more about what you're doing. And then, so that I just discovered you through a Google search, did the course. We arranged to have a chat on the phone. And I remember coming off that call and saying to my now husband, I doing this course, I'm going to help so many women. This woman's so inspirational. And I just really felt connected to you because I think I do think your journey resonated with me.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I know yours was pretty bad, thinking with the dementia, everything, and I just probably thought this. I thought I was losing my mind. I didn't know what was happening to me.
Yeah.
I think I felt a connection, and the fitness background and corporate background, and it just what you were saying were very genuine. And it really wasn't. I'm probably moving on a little bit, but it wasn't really till I'd found your course and we'd had the chat and I knew about all the course. You were so specific on how you would deliver the course, the content, and the fact that you weren't just going to throw loads of content at us, that we would really be involved in it.
Yeah.
And that you were also going to help us make a business out of it if that's what we want. That really, really interested me. And after doing your course and during your course, I saw lots of other courses out there that are just on like, oh, you can learn to be a menopause coach in 4 hours. And no, you can't. So I was so glad I did find you because I know that I have all the tools I need to help people out. And it's not just, there you go, take that and do what you will with it, you know?
Yeah. What were the kind of takeaways for you as you went through each of the modules? What were the kind of key things that really spoke to you throughout the journey?
I liked the, do you know, one of the key things, this is a really strange key takeaway, I suppose, was connecting with other women.
That's such a common one. I think that's one of the things about a live program, right? Is that community and the fact you're meeting people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So it's not that strange.
Right. Yeah. Because I felt like I've had female friends. Don't get me wrong. I've got female friends that I've had for years, but I've always kind of felt on the edge of female groups and more comfortable with men. I'm not sure why, whether it's how I worked or what, I don't know, but I don't know. We all were there for the same thing. We all were suffering in our own ways as well, some more than others. And it was just so nice to connect with people. It was so lovely. And to continue those connections afterwards as well has been fantastic. But I mean, other things, the wealth of like expertise that you offer yourself, but also that, I mean, Dr. Vikram was amazing. He's such a lovely man. So I could listen to him talking all day as well. And he took us right back to menopause in the 50s and the care that women got and sort of brought it up to the modern day, and also gave us places we could go and do more research and sort of trusted pieces of information, and like you do on the in the course content, where we know that if you've said, oh, this is a good resource, it's a trusted resource, and we're not telling people misinformation. It's really important. Michelle Hindle, that was a really lovely session.
Yeah. And Michelle's a grad of the program as well.
Yeah. And what an amazing lady, helping, you know, I mean, the nuances with HRT and cancer and you know, and you do feel, as particularly as a woman, and I'm happy to say that HRT has helped me. But I also, as that woman, I do feel a bit like not feel sorry, because that's, the women wouldn't appreciate that, but I really feel for women that can't take HRT, and I think, and I know that there is more help for them. I know that they don't have to rely on that, because I know that that's not always, it's not the be all and end all. And the other things, I've come across people all my life actually, but particularly in health and fitness, that if you could give them a magic pill, they'd just take that. Because they don't want to put any time and effort into themselves. But you do need to do that. And I think people like Michelle that are working with women that need this holistic form of help rather than just a magic pill, I do think that's a real inspiration. That's an amazing thing to do.
Just for anyone listening, Michelle Hindle is one of the experts on the programme. She's also a Macmillan Cancer Nurse Specialist and a graduate of the Menopause Coach Diploma. So just in case anyone's listening who doesn't know who we're talking about, that's who we're talking about. And I remember when she signed up to do the programme, I was kind of like, why is someone with all your expertise coming on the programme? But, you know, I know that coaching is a very specific skill set that most doctors and nurses haven't been trained in. It's not to say they're not great at it naturally, but it just formalises that as a additional skill set for them as well. She's definitely put that into practice right across the north of England, which is fantastic. But we spoke not long, I think it was just towards the end of the programme, or you sent me a message about your running, because you hadn't run for a while, is that right?
Yeah. So and I loved running, and I didn't necessarily, although I do love exercise, as you know, but I love weightlifting, and running I didn't ever see as a form of exercise. It was more for my mind than it was for my body, and because running on a treadmill is an absolute no-go for me, really. I just needed to be outside in nature running, and it cleared my head, and I loved it. And I'd got into a routine of running every morning, and then I've picked up injuries over the years, specifically knee injuries, and but then my hips started hurting, very severely hurting, to the point where I was struggling to sleep. So if I turned over in the night and if I managed to fall asleep, it would wake me up. I'd be in that much pain. So I thought, I'm going to need a hip replacement. I catastrophized. It turned out it was a menopause symptom, and it turned out after sort of a few months on HRT, my joint pain just went away. However, I had lost all my confidence in running, and I just dare not go out running. I can't explain what that was. I have no idea what that was. And then, I did your course, and I can't even tell you what the specific point of the course was. We must have been talking about, it must have been something to do with the movement. And somebody must have mentioned running. And I remember Saturday morning, I said to my husband, I'm going to try a short run. I didn't want to change the world. I just wanted to go for a little run around the block. I'm lucky to live near some lovely fields and nature. And so I did, and I didn't put any expectations on myself. And I came home and I just cried. And I thought, I need to message her, and I need to message her. And I remember writing that message to you and sort of thanking you.
It was the best message. I was like,
I'm feeling up a little bit now. I know it's probably the emotional one of the group, but I'm feeling up a little bit now, remembering back to it, because I don't know, something in me just gave me the confidence, and now I'm running every morning again. And I'm not saying to everybody go out and run every morning. It's not necessarily the best thing to do, but and I'm talking about I just go for a short run. I'm a massive believer of getting straight outside. The first thing you do when you get up on a morning, get a glass of water and get outside in the daylight. So that's what I do. I run maybe 2 to 3 kilometres, and it is thanks to being on that course, because I don't know how it gave me my confidence back, but it did. And I'm running again.
So talk to me a little bit, because I kept nudging you to do the podcast, and you were like, I'm not ready. I'm like, that's fine, that's okay, whenever you're ready. I just want to showcase your work. And then recently you've developed an app, you've developed a few online courses for women who are going through this journey, and I'd love you just to talk to me a little bit, before we actually talk about that, just talk about what the key principles behind it are, in terms of what the cornerstones of how you created it, what's gone into it, and why you think it's a really great opportunity for people to get motivated, get moving, have something to guide them without feeling like they have to go to a gym to do that.
Yeah, sure. So I sort of did a little bit of I suppose, a bridging course. I mean, as a personal trainer, I suppose a little bit like a GP, you get taught a rounded overview of everything. So I kind of delved a bit more into training menopausal women. So I thought, if I'm a menopause coach, then why not, focus on women? And I do know that women do struggle, and I know that one of the big struggles for a lot of ladies in menopause is lack of energy. And even if they've trained for years, they just don't feel like they can anymore. And I know the importance of it, not just for overall health, but I mean, preventing the disease, like we know, like osteoporosis, your strength, cardiovascular disease, but mental health as well. And you do feel very low, and you low mood, anxiety, and things like that are massive symptoms, as you know. And I just think, anytime you did actually say this on the course, that don't call it exercise, call it movement, and it's so important, is that because people hear exercise and they're just, oh gosh, I can't do that. But move every day. It's amazing what it does for you mentally. It's just amazing. So that side of it, I'm so passionate about getting. You don't have to go to the gym. We'll go to the park, or I'll come to your house. If you've got a little bit of space. I mean, I have a camper van, and I manage to train in that when it's raining. So, for a little bit of space, we can do something with it. So it is one of my big things. So I thought, right, okay, time is an issue for people. Time of day, the space they've got, the equipment they've got. So what can we do? So I designed a program where, well, first of all, I designed an app that's just exercises. So if somebody thinks, right, I want to train my legs, but I don't know how to do it, they can pick legs and it'll show them little videos. And then I thought people might need to know how to put that together. So I did some 10-minute workouts. So, you could spend 10 minutes on a HIIT, or just little snippets here and there.
Wait a minute, before we just explain, because I'm a PT, but, explain what HIIT, just what the acronym HIIT is and what it means.
So high intensity interval workout. It's very, very good it's very good for your cardiovascular health. It's very good for your strength. The way that I do it as well, it's a lot of impact exercises. So really good for your bone health. Lots of multi-directional movement to really support your bones and your muscles. But I thought do some little 10 minutes. And then if you've only got 10 minutes, just do 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go training for an hour. But if you want to do something a bit longer, do 2 together or 3 together, or, or you might just want a day where some gentle movement. So there's flexibility sessions on there. But then also you've got the other side of it where strength building is so important. And I'd say, I hope I'm not generalising too much, but I would say women in particular don't really know where to start with strength training. And so I've done a 12-week progressive program that people can just sort of subscribe to as a one-off program, pay a one-off fee, get a 12-week program. It tells them what to do every day. And that's not exercising every day. That might mean one day it says rest today, do something for you, read a book, write in your journal, go for a walk, get outside. But then the other days, sort of building up upper body strength, lower body strength, and really guiding them through what to do, warming up properly, doing a tiny little bit of impact in each session as well, because I do think that's important, just to do.
How do you incorporate? So one of the things I know that often women will have bladder problems, there'll be bladder weaknesses, and when we think of HIIT, or we think of running, or we think of anything that's got that bounce impact going on in there, what would you say to someone who's got bladder issues?
I would say don't worry too much about it. And the reason I'm saying that, I have it. Yes, I leak when I bounce. I could not go to a trampolining class. I've tried one and it was a disaster. But, do some pelvic floor exercises because they do help. So learn about pelvic floor. That does help with bladder weakness. But just don't be afraid. If you have to wear a pad, wear a pad, if you're worried about leaking. But
and also, I think for anyone that's listening, one of the other things I always think is really important is that we do seek help and support as well. So we really should be going to our GP and asking for a specialist referral to a pelvic floor specialist or a pelvic floor physiotherapy, so that we can find out what's available and get the right exercises, because it's not always the ones that we search up online that are the best ones for us. So we have in the program We've had Gaynor Morgan come and speak to us, the pelvic floor angel, who talks about what the opportunities are, what's out there, what's available. And she's an amazing bodywork specialist. So someone, just as a reference for anyone who's maybe thinking, I really want to do those things, but it's just not within my gift for any reason whatsoever. There's no shame in this. And one of the things we really don't talk about enough is pelvic health and urinary tract issues and vaginal issues and vulval issues. And I've trained all my life, apart from 2 snapped ACLs, which was because of a judo fight, I want to say. Someone who was applying MMA principles on a Newaza groundwork judo fight snapped my knee, and I ended up snapping my ACL, getting it fixed. And because my legs were really strong during my rehab, I snapped it off again. So that was really the only injury I really sustained, thankfully, all the way through my life. And then during menopause, I took my little anaerobic body, my kind of, little power packed little body who's not built for distance or, long distance stuff. It's not anaerobic particularly. And I decided to train for a marathon. Wow. And I got injured right, left and centre, not knowing that I was perimenopausal. Even though I wasn't doing any impact stuff, I was doing gentle runs. I was doing too much, too quickly for my body, for someone who was perimenopausal or menopausal and didn't know at the time. So I didn't build in enough recovery and I didn't have enough, of the right balance. And despite being a personal trainer, I wasn't training effectively for myself. So talk to me a little bit about LIT as well, low intensity training. How could someone maybe apply that into their training as well?
Yeah, cause it's super important that you do listen to your body at this stage as well, and do take the time to recover. Any sort of movement, getting out, but outdoors, get outdoors and walk. Just go for long. It's still impact. It's still an impact that you're having. Things like something that you're always learning, aren't you, yourself? So something I listened to quite recently, actually, and you think, some people, for example, will go for a walk at lunchtime for half an hour thinking, I'm going to make sure I get out. As soon as you're saying the benefit of just getting up from your desk and doing 10 air squats every hour. Just do 10 squats an hour. And that's got the same benefit as going out for a walk for half an hour. So it doesn't have to be the high impact things. Yes, they can be really beneficial for building strength, but also any sort of impact, and walking definitely is one of those. So walking is the best, get out. And I keep saying get outside because I'm a big advocate for getting outside, because you need the vitamin D, you need to get out on a morning to set up your circadian rhythm, so everything's really important. But some people don't like being outside. So if you do want to go to a gym and walk on a treadmill, then do that, but put it on a bit of an incline, challenge yourself a little bit. But you don't have to. I think that's probably why you said in the course, you see it as movement, not exercise. You don't have to see it as, I'm going to do an exercise session. I'm just going to get my body moving.
Yeah, anything activity-wise,
Yoga is fantastic. Yoga is just absolutely fantastic. Just that flexibility is so important to keep flexible. Again, you don't want to get older and
not be able to put, the top can off your shelf or get the whatever it is off the supermarket shelf or pick up your bag.
Your shoelaces properly, or things like that. You have to think of your long-term health, haven't you? And that's for anybody really, but certainly in menopause. But certainly if you have trained all your life, I would say do look at thinking of, do I need to adapt this now? Because it's easy to think, I'm just going to push through. I'm just going to push through and I'm just going to carry on. And then you will pick up these injuries. I've changed what I do massively, definitely.
Yeah, I think you made a really good point there, is that if you've trained all your life, then you do what you can do, listen to your body, take the recovery you need. You may have to adapt to what you're doing. I think that's really important. If you're someone who's never exercised before or haven't done for years and years and years, and you're not quite sure where to start, then speak to a professional and think about the day to day. When you get up in the morning, how do you get up? How do you move? when you're in the kitchen doing your housework, the gardening, or whatever activities you're doing, how could you do them with a little bit more vigor, if you like, just so that you're getting that little bit more energy? If you're going for a walk, if you always walk your dogs and you think, well, I walk my dogs every day, maybe you want to change your route and just make it slightly more uphill, or you want to walk a little bit faster. So it's always thinking about how you can mix it up and do something that's just pushing that teeny tiny bit further. And if you're someone who's not done anything apart from move from the bed to the sofa and back to the bed again every day, then could you maybe just do a few, like you said, air squats? In other words, just on the edge of the sofa, stand up and sit down from the sofa 10 times, take a break, do another 10, take a break, do another 10. And just because that gets your heart and lungs moving, that helps you build up your strength. And when these things are building up, your confidence tends to build up. And we know that during menopause, you can have low moods, you can feel anxious. I know we've spoken about that before and definitely both been impacted by it. But moving, which for so many people can feel like the last thing that they want to do, by moving, if you can just do that teeny tiny thing for 2 minutes a day and just build it up, then it can absolutely, over time, as you build that up, help you with your confidence as well and help take the edge off of some of the symptoms you're experiencing too.
Like put your favourite song on and dance around your kitchen like a lunatic.
Exactly.
You'll smile, you're moving, and you know it can only have a positive impact on you.
Amazing. Fantastic. So you're currently doing in-person PT. You've got your app going on. You are just about to get yourself out there and start doing some amazing work in the workplace too. What else have I not asked you about today, Mel, that you'd like to talk about?
I just think, I just urge women to get some help, because the help is out there in so many different forms and you don't even realise it. It's not about... And another part, I suppose, why I decided to develop an app was because I know that a lot of women can't afford, it's not accessible to them, one-to-one coaching and things like that. I just thought, how do we make this accessible to more people? But even if that's not accessible, talk to somebody, talk to a friend, a family member, your husband, if you're married, your husband or your partner. It's important to say that every woman's experience is completely different. As you know, we all have a different journey through menopause. We all have different symptoms. We all deal with it in different ways. I sometimes think I scare women because I talk about my own experience quite openly, and people think, oh my God, is this going to happen to me? And no, it might not happen to you, but if it does, at least you're now prepared. But the man in your life, it could even be your dad, it could be your brother, they don't know, they don't understand what's happening to you. So tell them, because relationships break up, don't they? And they could be so easily fixed just by a simple conversation.
And your relationship went the other way altogether.
Mine went the other way. Somehow mine married me after dealing with me, my mood swings and my irrational behaviour. I mean, there was irrational behaviour there. But I've always been one for open conversation. I do think that it's so important anyway to talk to your partner about everything. Don't keep anything from them. So luckily I did do that anyway. And it led him to read books and listen to podcasts about menopause, which I just think is incredibly useful for any man to do. Yeah. Because even you look at the workplace culture, if men knew more about menopause, then we can change the workplace culture. It's not that they don't care, it's that they don't understand what's going on. Just talk. I just think we all need to talk more. I can sense people rolling their eyes sometimes at me now because all I talk about is menopause, but I think it's important. Let's just talk about it. It's not a taboo subject anymore.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having a conversation with me today. I'm looking forward to getting this all edited and sharing it with everybody, and look forward to hearing what you're up to next.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you for joining me on Women of a Certain Stage. I hope today's episode inspired you to think differently about menopause and the incredible opportunities this stage of life brings. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with 3 friends who need to hear this message. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a review. It helps us reach even more people. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at Lauren Turin or visit our website at womenofacertainstage.com to learn more about menopause coaching, inspiring events, and corporate training. Until next time, let's continue making a difference, one conversation at a time.